recording and all that stuff in order. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. Waiting on everybody to pile on in here. Let me start recording. Let me get this going. There it is. I'm good. How y'all doing, man? Glad to have everybody in here. I ain't done a live in a few days on here, not a Twitter space, but I'm here. Glad to have y'all in here. I am back from Louisiana. I'm back in LA. Had a phenomenal trip down there in New Orleans. Took the family down there. What's up, D Tubman? What's up, Nicety Girl? What's up, Re-Ups? What's up, FBA Empress? Shout out to all the regulars. But yeah, I had a great time out there in New Orleans, man. Again, shout out to the New Orleans family. It was a vibe being down there with the FBA family down there in New Orleans, just vibing with the people, having a great time. Do we have any New Orleans people in here now? My lady wants to go back already. I mean, we really had a good time out there. New Orleans, very interesting. The good and bad, I love it. One thing about New Orleans, I will say, the crackheads down there are very interesting. Y'all crackheads are different down there. I don't know what y'all put in the crack down there, but it really gives them a different kind of flavor and an edge. You guys have some of the most original crackheads I've ever seen. And I talked to some people. Some folks was like, they're not even on crack, baby. That's just how they is. I said, no, it got to be crack. You just can't be like that. But yeah, good folks down there. And you guys need to visit. Go down there, check out all of the sites. Today we're going to try to go to the grave of Marie Laveau. There's a lot of cemeteries out there, and Marie Laveau, she was the famous hoodoo root work woman, and the cemetery is like in the middle of town. They tried to charge you to get in there. I'm like, damn. Yeah, they getting their money out there in New Orleans. Man, we tried to go to a cemetery, dude. They tried to charge us to go to a cemetery. They had a bouncer at the front of the cemetery like it was a club. That's $45, baby. I'm like, what? Nigga, this is a grave site. But I guess so many people go in there. They were like, yeah, we're about to make a buck off this. They tried to charge us $45 each to go to the grave sites and go into a cemetery. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool. And like, I probably would have done it if we weren't in a rush. We're on our way to the airport. So, but if you go down there, you guys check that out. Check out some of the cemeteries down there because a lot of people go down there and again, they know the power of some of those root workers down there. I keep telling you how real the root work is. I was paying homage to a lot of our root working ancestors, and the people know how powerful that is. And they want to go to these grave sites and leave little trinkets and leave their markings so they can soak in some of that root work hoodoo energy. And so many people do it. They're just like, hell, the city might as well make some money off this thing too. What's up? Everybody say what's up to my baby sis. Tia is in here. I just saw Tia in here. But yeah, if you go down to New Orleans, man, go there. Go to some of the great eating spots. Bourbon Street, French Quarters. We were out there last night, and let me warn you, Bourbon Street in the daytime is much different than Bourbon Street at night. Bourbon Street at night is real different. All right, let me warn y'all. All right, we're my New Orleans people. Yeah, in the daytime, Bourbon Street, there's kind of a family atmosphere. When it gets late at night, do not bring your family to Bourbon Street. That is not the family friendly place that you think it is. Because Bourbon Street, y'all know Bourbon Street was always a whole stroll. It was a whole stroll back in the day, and it's a whole stroll now. The spirit of Bourbon Street has never left. Bourbon Street started off as a track, and it's still a track. They were out there doing something strange for some change, doing something funny for some money. It was packed out there, and they were working. And we're walking down and we're seeing some of the women out there catching tricks, and they had them standing outside the little strip joints. And then I think we walked a little bit too far down because then we saw dudes out there slinging Bucci. So I was like, oh, this is, like, we got to call the Uber. It's too much. This is too much. Um, yeah, it's a whole different thing. You never know what you're getting into out there. You got to be very careful out there. We ate at Mambo's last night. We took a video of that. There's a restaurant called Mambo's that was pretty good. Then we kind of walked around, and there was a lot of illicit activity going on. So people kept trying to get us to go into these little strip joints all over. There's a whole bunch of the clubs turned into strip joints, and they're very dark and seedy. My lady was like, "We should go in one." I'm like, "The hell we should." I'm not going into one of these quote unquote strip joints. I don't know who I'm about to get a lap dance from. No, no, thank you. I'm not trying to get a lap dance from Big Frida or whoever is in there. And I'm not knocking anybody's lifestyle. But you don't know what's going on down there, and I don't want to find out. I'm very cool. But shout out to New Orleans. Um, a lot of things we got to hit on tonight. And then I'm going to take calls from the family. I'm going to take calls. What's up, Nikki the God? I see you, dear. Um, did y'all know the game that, and I talked about the game with Colorado and Oregon. I talked about that on my Sunday show. One thing I found out that they were talking about this, Keyshawn Johnson was talking about this. He was saying that a lot of those college coaches, they were all getting together corresponding with the Oregon coach against Coach Prime. He was saying that a lot of the coaches all got together and they were all kind of advising Oregon on how to beat Coach Prime. These folks just got a little conglomerate together, all putting their thinking caps. All of these college coaches were putting their little thinking caps together and throwing the strategies out. And they were all plotting and planning on how Oregon could, you know, take out Coach Prime. So these people were very serious about defeating Prime. So we got to be very clear what our brother's going up against. We got to be very clear. You know, this ain't just some regular, it's not just a regular loss. Yeah, they could do better, but just know behind the scenes, these people are really, really, and I've said this before, they want Prime to fail so bad. Y'all better understand how bad they want him to fail. So they were plotting and advising each other, and you know, they were really putting their little thinking caps together. That's why I'm saying that they got a bounty on Prime's best players. They got a bounty on them guys. You better believe they got a bounty on them. The way they're plotting, and they already took out one of Prime's best players, took him out basically for the season, right? So yeah, you better believe these folks got a bounty on some of those good players. So it's real out here. Don't ever forget that. Um, Now, what we're talking about how should black people feel about the border crisis? Trump put up a tweet, or was it a tweet? I don't think it was a tweet, but it wasn't a tweet. But I think he did a speech, and he said if he's elected, he's going to start doing mass deportations. He's going to get all of these people coming in illegally. He's getting them out of here. Trump said, if I get elected, all of these people hopping over here illegally, just flooding the borders, this border crisis that's going on, I'm going to clean that up. He was like, yeah, he's going to run on that. That's going to be his campaign fuel. He's going to clean this border crisis up by sending a lot of people back. And me personally, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that whatsoever. You know, it's that border thing to me, it's not really working for us. So, black people, how should we feel? about the border crisis. They're trying to get us involved and get us emotionally involved in all of this stuff. How should we really feel about this border crisis? All of these people flooding over here, that's not helping us. That's not helping us at all. They're getting these people over and papering them up and giving them all types of resources. We can't even get nothing over here. All of the money's going to these people just jumping over the border. They're getting housing, grants, our tax dollars given to them. Um, Certain positions they're training them for, as far as the different markets out here. It's an interesting thing. So, how is that working for us? And what we get is certain people going into these neighborhoods, they'll flood them in our neighborhoods, and then the crime rate goes up, the scamming goes up. I mean, let's keep it real. I'm not even trying to be mean spirited, but we got to be very real. They let folks over, dump them on us. They're not putting them in the white neighborhoods because some of the white corporations use them for cheap labor, but they dump them in black neighborhoods. And they understand that these people come from backgrounds they're not vetting these people. You don't know what kind of criminal that popped out of jail over there that they're putting over here. And black people are complaining around the country in these black communities. They're like, hey man, these folks are robbing and messing with kids and just doing a lot of weird stuff. We don't want them just being dumped on us. So people, we have legitimate gripes about this. It doesn't really work for us. Now, how do you guys feel about the border crisis? How do you think black people should react to this? Because the Democrats, this is their thing. So I want to know from the family, how should black folks react to this thing? Now we got somebody here. I don't know what kind of flag you got there. It looks like one of these troll accounts, but let's hop on. What's on your mind? I don't know what your name is. You got a bunch of weird characters for your name. What's your name, man? And while we're waiting on this person, whoever he is, to hop on through. Dude with the British flag. I don't know what kind of flag that is, but you want to say something? Let's get the Prime guy. Prime, hop on.
Man, send them back, man. I'm with you. Send them back.
Right.
They ain't give us reparations. They ain't give us nothing yet. Send their ass back. That's
Yeah.
all I got to say.
All right. Thank you. Let's get America First. Hop on America First. Okay. Oh, we got some of this buck broken white supremacist nonsense. Okay. We got to get them out of here. When you get the white supremacists on here, they got to start posting Bucci Cat photos. They got to start posting their yearbook photos. Oh, we got to get him out. Boy, these white supremacists. Boy, the first thing they get to is posting Bucci Cats. Lord. And you know what's fun? I saw an article where one of these little janky, low budget white supremacist suspect publications, they were complaining about the movie Buck Breaking. They were talking about how certain things were inaccurate. As part of the movie Buck Breaking, there was a part where we talked about um, how European expansion globally, it was a homoerotic venture. Our brother um, Muhammad said that. He was like, this was a Wesley Muhammad. He said part of European colonial expansion was a homoerotic venture. It was fueled by a lot of homoeroticism, which was true. And they were like, oh, that's just hogwash. What are these Negroes saying? That is hogwash. How could they say that? Well, family, let's look at history. And if you haven't seen the movie Buck Breaking, go look at the movie Buck Breaking. They love the white supremacists love being in denial about a lot of stuff. These folks were the minute they started to encounter men from Aboriginal areas, they would rape the men. That Alexander the Great was doing that. They were having sexual relations with the dudes, the young dudes. Hell, especially the when those Catholic missionaries were going over to Africa, we're not whistling Dixie here. We're not grabbing for straws. Those Catholic missionaries going over there to Africa, raping the kids, they still do that. Look at what the Catholic Church is doing now. I mean, just look at what they do now. When they were on these plantations, they were raping dudes. Oh God, that's so far fetched. It's not far fetched. It was European expansion. It was a very homoerotic fueled endeavor. Look at how they do now. Look at all the rainbow flags all over the place. Look at what they're doing right now. Forget about ancient history. Right now. Look at what they promote right now. You can't go anywhere without rainbow flags, and they're telling you people have to be non-binary and you got to respect the non-binary-isms, and they're passing laws where they're going to force this on your kids in school. They're doing this now, right in the open. They're doing it right now. So what do you think they've been doing? They've been doing this type of stuff. Not just they're just being more open about it now. What they're doing now is a form of buck breaking. They're trying to tell you, if somebody with a wig on pulls something out from in their pants and try to throw it on you, you better not get mad and you better not try to fight them, because that's still a woman. No matter how big their thing is, that's still a woman now. And you better respect their pronouns. Don't worry about that dangalang. You better respect the pronouns, or you're gonna go to jail for a hate crime. This is what they're telling us now. That's buck breaking, family. This is not far fetched. They're doing this now. You understand? So it's real stuff. Let's get but I can't Sanduja. I can't pronounce your first name, brother, but Sanduja. Hop on. Utav, whatever your name, Utsav,
What's Seth?
Utsav. Okay, where you from, man? That's a
I'm
Middle Eastern name, right? Where you from? Where you from?
no, it's Indian. It's Indian,
India.
sir.
Okay, there
Yeah.
you go. So what's on your
Well,
mind?
Mr. Nasheed, sir, I'd just like to say, first of all, I've heard a lot about you, and I just want to say you're very, very interesting. You're very articulate. I don't mean to be a sycophant or anything, but you make very excellent observations on human nature that
Mm-hmm.
most people don't understand or appreciate. And I just wanted to compliment you because I have learned quite a bit from you.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did you hear? What did you hear about me?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I was exposed to some of the ridiculous, neo-Nazi crap where they were making fun of you over the buck breaking thing, and I never quite understood what that rubbish was about. I honestly don't know why they do that.
Because the truth hurts. Yeah,
Yeah.
the truth hurts. The movie Bug Breaking really hit them in their souls because it was the truth. It exposed a lot of white supremacist culture. So what else they're going to do besides troll? They can't do anything but troll. So, but what's on your mind though?
So what's on my mind is some of the stuff you were talking about in regards to the whole LGBT stuff. I mean, I don't understand what's with all these letters, numbers. Like it's just getting to a point where I can't take these guys seriously. And it's I don't mean any disrespect, but I just at some point like it's no longer becoming about people and minorities. It's more becoming like a whole thought process about intellectuals. It's becoming like an intellectual exercise and like you know like sexual theories, as if like the layman is supposed to know every single sexual category, and if you get it wrong,
Right, right.
you're fucked at work. Pardon my friend.
Right. So yeah, they make this stuff up as they go along. And again, this is bug breaking. I'm telling you, it's the same thing. They did this to us on plantations. Yeah, when you go look at the movie Bug Breaking, well, the white supremacists, yeah, they got a bug in their ass about it because it hit them right on the money. So they're doing buck breaking on a bigger level now. On the plantations, they would punish us if we didn't go along with any kind of sexual perversions. Men and women were broken, but men in particular, they know breaking a man sexually, you can break him spiritually. So places like Louisiana, some of the first sex changes were done on black men who were enslaved. Madame Lilla Reed down there in Louisiana, in New Orleans, she had the House of Horrors. She has she had a plantation house. Well, wasn't quite a plantation house because it wasn't a field around it. But this woman who was a slave owner had enslaved people over there at her house in the French quarters, torturing them and doing sex change operations on them. It the buck breaking is very real, and the first legal sex change was done on a black man 1960, I want to say 1965, in the mid to late 60s. The first so-called legal sex change was done on a black man. So they've always done these little experiments on us. They start with us, then they go to expand to the dominant society. But they've always done these little ritualistic buck breaking techniques on us, and now they're doing it to the whole country as a population control means. It's just real heavy. All right, let's get some other people in here because we got a lot of folks in here tonight. And oh, we got somebody. We got a foundational white American. He's giving the thumbs down. Okay, we got a foundational white American. Let me get you in here. So, what's on your mind, sir? Yes, sir.
I talk about why Trump is actually shooting the foundational white American community in the foot by threatening to deport all these probationary whites, immigrants, whatever you call them. Here's the thing. So I hate to admit it, but white people are genetically recessive. And as a result, we're probably going to be extinct in 100 years or so. And we need
or less. I think less than that, unfortunately.
Here's the thing. We're going to need probationary whites to keep you in check. And if Trump deports all these immigrants, the FBAs are just going to keep breeding and breeding. They're going to take over the U.S. So we need probationary whites, immigrants, Latinos, Asians to keep you in check when we're gone.
Right. And they're trying to flood the zone with them.
Yeah, so
they're trying to flood the zone.
I'm disappointed.
And the thing is, right. And the thing is, it's not really working like it's supposed to because you have a lot of the people coming in from South America and they have some of those throwback genes because they got a black abuela back home. So they'll go mate with a white person here. Then the baby is born with an afro and a taste for Chipotle.
Yeah.
So you don't know what to do. It's all over the place.
Well, that's why I hate white race trading simps because they'll, white men or I don't know, simps who can't get girls, who can't find a white girl. They'll say, oh, I'm going to go knock up some Mexican. And then the kid's not white. The kid's Mexican because we're genetically recessive. I hate to say it. It's just true. And then that kid's non-white. And so with all the stuff going on, yeah, we're probably going to be extinct soon. And I'm worried what you're going to do when you guys take over the U.S. completely. We need probationary whites.
Right now, how do you feel about these white women laying up with all these brothers? Because that's a big thing too. The white women are really running up on the brothers. How the white male supremacists feeling about this with all these white women choosing brothers?
They just need to be. I don't know. What do you do with them? They're race traders. We don't claim them anymore. They've lost their white pass.
Right. Are you guys focusing more on the Asian girls now?
No,
because that's another.
Because they're not white. Here's the thing. In order to propagate white society and foundational white American society, you need to have white kids. Here's the problem. Here's an example with black people. A black dude can knock up any race of girl in the world, and that kid's going to be black because you're dominant genetically. If a white dude knocks up any race of woman besides white, that kid's non-white. And so these white supremacists or white foundational white Americans who want to get their dick wet and they knock up some minority woman, you just killed your own race. You're committing racial suicide because that kid's non-white. And so that pisses me off when I'm going, oh, you're a white supremacist. Oh, I mean, a foundational white American, and you're knocking up a Latino or an Asian. What the hell is wrong with you? You're committing racial suicide. And it's not good.
Right. And a lot of what the white supremacists will do, they'll just kind of get into these little segregated enclaves and then they'll start getting into these ancestral relationships. And that's kind of big. And that doesn't work out either because then you got all of the congenital disorders and the neurological disorders. So that's kind of speeding up the
Well,
process.
the truth is, Tariq, majority of white supremacist males can't actually tell their white girlfriends that they're white supremacists because I don't know, it's just female nature. Some will, some like hillbillies, they'll be up with that. But like if you're in like the northern suburbs or whatever, and you say, hey, I hate black people, they'll be like, they might stay with you, but it's not like a bonus. So you have to kind of be quiet about that. And they might,
Right.
you have to give little hints, but then you basically say, oh, because of my religion, which I'm not really into religion, let's have 10 kids, be fruitful and multiply. And nowadays, white women want to have like one kid, which is below replacement level. And, but I try to pretend I'm not even religious. I try to pretend, I say, hey, look, we're both religious, right? Let's have 10 kids. And then she'll be like, nah, I only want 2 max. I'm like, well, that's still not replacing. That's still below replacement rate because you need 3 to add. And so it's just, we got to figure that out. But we're probably not going to be around and pretty soon. So we need these immigrants and probationary whites to keep the FBAs in check. So Trump's old and dementia. I thought he was, I don't know. Trump's being an idiot with saying, oh, no, we're going to deport all these immigrants. He doesn't realize that he's basically just laying the groundwork for FBAs to take over, deporting all these immigrants. These immigrants are pretty, not all of them, but some of them, most of them, I'd say, are anti-black. So Trump's basically saying, here, let me deport all these anti-black immigrants. Oh, I think I'm doing something good. And then when the white people die off, black people are just going to take over. So Trump's being an idiot. So I can't really support him. Honestly, I'd probably ride with Biden, to be honest, because black people are like, oh, Biden's so good. But truth is, he went to Robert Byrd's funeral. I've seen him in the 70s make comments about racial jungles and stuff. So it's like, and I think Biden pretends to be like, oh, yeah, I'm all for black people. But I think deep down, he's one of us. He's just.
Right. Me too. I think he's a white supremacist too. But listen, if you guys are going to go extinct, and some people say it's going to be sooner than 100 years, can you at least leave the recipes for the Rice Krispie treats and tuna casseroles? Because those are good. I don't want y'all to take those to the grave with you. Leave those at least, because you guys really make some great Rice Krispie treats. I'm gonna give you that.
Well, I mean, you'll have like half white women that'll maybe possess a little bit of that, but the white males, they don't do that.
Oh, nobody does it better than Karen.
Well,
nobody.
Tariq, how are the FBAs gonna be effing black or white women when they're extinct? They're gonna miss that white pussy, aren't they?
No, not really. Not really. A lot of the Sambos are fiending for the white cooch, but yeah, these sisters, they still got it popping. So yeah, we still be good to go.
Do not vote for Trump. Do not vote for Trump. He's actually indirectly shooting white people in the foot. Saying, "Oh, we're going to deport all these immigrants." Do not vote for him. He's being an old, demented idiot by saying we're going to deport anti-black immigrants. Don't do it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, sir. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be all right. I know that a lot of the white supremacists feel like them. They about to be up out of here pretty soon. He said 100 years. Many experts are saying it's gonna be less than 100 years. That's what a lot of experts are saying. The white supremacists, in particular, the main ones who wanted to segregate themselves and practice this racism and create these little enclaves, those are going to be the first ones to go. Unfortunately, that's unfortunate. I don't want to see anybody be extinct. I don't want to see that. That's not good. But the white supremacists, the nature kind of has a way of correcting itself. If you have a group of people, and I'm talking about the white supremacists, not white people in general. I'm talking about the white supremacists. If you have a group of people who create a system that's an inherently evil system, the universe will correct that. And the universe, it corrects stuff like that. It corrects evil doing, things that are unnatural. White supremacy is a very unnatural thing. It's a very deceptive and unnatural thing for the planet. All right, let me get some other people. Let's get Mary June in here. Mary June. All right. We get Mary June. Hop on, Mary June. Mary June, you want to throw your microphone on, ma'am?
Okay, there we go. Okay, thank you. I just dropped into this conversation and I couldn't believe what that last guy was saying. What?
I believe him. I believe him. I think he's being very honest. To be real.
Well, race is a construct of modern white people. It's it's not real. So there's no white people aren't going to go extinct. They're just going to be different people. You know, who we choose to procreate with creates what we create. There is this concept that white is going to go extinct is ridiculous. I mean, it's like saying that humans are going to go extinct. We're not.
Hmm. Now, June, where are you from, by the way, June?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but there are a lot of people who believe they're like people who are classified as white. When you are mixing with all of these different groups of people, the whiteness kind of goes away and you amalgamate into a non-white category. And a lot of people believe that, man.
Right. And my daughter is one of those people. But
Yeah.
that she's she's still a human being. She's not
Right.
she
Now, is your daughter Latina? Is your daughter half Latino or is she half black?
well, she's actually 24% African and 75% European. Uh, so her father was mixed
Okay.
race.
Okay. What was he mixed with? What was the dad mixed with? Was he Latino?
Yes, yeah.
That's it. There you go. All right, let's say that because yeah, a lot of
Well,
Latinos,
wait, he was
well,
Latino,
a lot,
but
most of
her
them, yeah,
genetics came out as she was only 2% Spanish. So basically it was Taino, Indian, and Black African.
hmm yeah, yeah, a lot of a lot of people in these South American countries, and I've said this many times, they're actually black and some of the indigenous tribes down there, and they have very little Spanish
Right,
ancestry. They just speak Spanish.
right,
They just happen to speak Spanish. They were
right.
colonized by the Spanish.
Exactly.
So, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. It's an interesting thing. Um now out there in Arizona. Arizona is very beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Me and my lady like going out there. We love it
Thank
out there
you.
in Arizona.
Yeah, it's
Um,
beautiful, but we've got some crazy people.
yes,
We
indeed.
got some
Yes,
crazy
indeed.
people out here.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, thank you so much, June. I
All right, thank
appreciate you.
you.
Oh, June about I see June had a picture of her and Barack Obama. Okay, I should have asked her about that. And June is a liberal. You see, and see that's the difference between June and the foundational white supremacist American who called them. The foundational white supremacist guy, I can respect his honesty. He was very honest. What he's saying, he was being very honest. And I don't have a problem with that. He was being brutally honest about how they felt. And that's cool. Yeah, let me know what's going on. Let's not play games with it. He is being very, very brutally honest, and I can respect honesty. All right. And there are a lot of people who feel, I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who are white supremacists who are leading towards Biden. All right. Remember, with Trump, a lot of the white supremacists, like the alt right, Richard Spencer and those guys, they kind of stopped liking Trump. They're like, Trump ain't being radical enough. Trump ain't really badgering down on the Negroes hard enough like we want him to do. Because Trump, when he was in office, let's be real, Trump didn't really do anything to directly harm black people in any kind of significant way. So a lot of the hardcore white supremacists was like, well, hell, we might as well stick with Biden. At least Biden is hitting them with that benign neglect real crazy and using these immigrant buffer groups to badger down on the blacks. So the white supremacists understand exactly what Biden's agenda is.